Before anyone looks at these paintings, they are already resisting the viewer. Not through obscurity, not through symbolism, but through restraint. Velázquez does not seduce the eye, he delays it. And this is where most interpretations begin too late, after the gaze has already assumed permission. What if these works are not about seeing at all, but about learning when not to look? Art history often praises Velázquez for realism, for psychological presence, for life-likeness. This is a comforting myth, because realism suggests availability. It suggests that the image opens itself to us. Velázquez does the opposite. His figures do not perform visibility, they tolerate it. The stillness here is not naturalistic, it is disciplinary. A code is being enforced, quietly, without annotation. Silence in these paintings is not mood, it is architecture. Notice how nothing competes for dominance. Light does not climax. Gesture does not resolve. Every element knows its limit. This is not the Baroque of excess. It is the Baroque after correction. Velázquez is not expanding expression. He is subtracting permission. What remains is not emptiness, but control. We are told these works invite intimacy, that they draw us closer. But proximity here is a test, not a gift. Stand too confidently before them, and they flatten. They refuse emphasis. They deny narrative reward. Velázquez does not guide the viewer, he waits. This is why they feel modern, not because they anticipate us, but because they resist explanation. Look at how faces are rendered, not expressive, regulated. Emotion is not absent, it is contained. The eye is not mirrored, it is returned. Velázquez paints as if the act of looking itself requires moral calibration. This is not psychology, it is ethics. The painting asks, how much are you entitled to see? At this point, most viewers search for symbolism, for allegory, for narrative access. But Velázquez offers none, because the subject is not the scene, it is the condition of observation. Everything here is weighted toward equilibrium, not balance as beauty, but balance as restraint. A system where nothing asserts itself too soon. Velázquez does not paint silence because the world is quiet. He paints silence because vision must be trained to endure it. In these works, meaning does not appear, it accumulates, only if the viewer slows. This is not an invitation. It is a requirement. Once we accept this, Velázquez stops being a painter of realism. He becomes something more severe, a regulator of perception, a figure who insists that sight itself must be disciplined before it can understand. This is why his paintings feel unfinished, not materially but cognitively. They withhold completion until the viewer adjusts. And once this discipline was established, others would begin to test how far such restraint could stretch without breaking. Later painters would introduce tension, movement, calculated instability, but they would do so on a foundation Velázquez quietly enforced. Without this silence, excess would mean nothing. Without this restraint, emotion would collapse into noise. The Baroque did not begin with spectacle. It began with limits. If these paintings feel distant, it is not because they lack warmth. It is because they refuse immediacy. They do not reward speed. They recalibrate patience. And once that calibration occurs, the entire period reads differently. Not louder, but sharper. What follows Velázquez is not freedom. It is experimentation under constraint, a sequence of artists testing how much structure vision can bear before it dissolves into sensation. That question, how far balance can bend, is not answered here. It is only prepared. And the next canvas will not be quieter.